Appreciate everybody being here at our July 26, 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. This time I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Robinson. Here. Master Barger. Master Tudor. Here. Master Bodkin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. This time I'd like to invite Jim Riggs from Bee Hill Christian Church up to lead us in a word of prayer. Appreciate you being here today, buddy.
Appreciate the invitation.
If you will, please pray with me. Father God, we thank you for the day that you've given us, and we realize, Lord, that you teach us something new each and every day. Father, this morning we've all walked in out of the storm. We're here, we're safe, we're dry. Lord, we realize that we live in a time of crisis where there's a lot of division and hatred. Father, just as we came in out of the storm that got our bodies wet, Lord, I pray that we come to you for the instruction and the guidance and the direction that we need to brave the storm. Lord, I pray for unity. I pray for your wisdom. I pray for your discernment to be with these folks that we have put into office, realizing, Lord, that you have gifted them with what they have to be used to bring honor and glory back to your name. So, Father, we thank you for all that you do for us. We thank you, Father, for all that you've done with us. But most of all, Father, we praise you and thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who makes all things possible. It's in his name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
Please stand and place the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Members of the court, y'all have had a chance to look over our previous fiscal court meeting minutes. It was on July the 12th, 2022. I need a motion and a second to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Bodkin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Treasurer's report is normally today, but we will be pushing it to our first meeting in August. Glenn is actually out on vacation this week, so she'll bring everybody up to speed at our next fiscal court meeting. First order of business today is Resolution 2022-97. This is a state road transfer for Simpson Lane. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Resolution 2022-97, a resolution approving a road transfer from the Commonwealth of Kentucky to the Madison County Fiscal Court. Whereas the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, hereinafter Cabinet, is reconstructing Kentucky Highway 627, 590 feet west of US to 1725 east of I-75, which is approximately 0.573 miles distance as part of project number FD 52-0627-000-001 STP 627-016, item number 7-8403, hereinafter project. The Cabinet's plan sheet detailing the construction project are attached hereto this resolution, and whereas the construction of the aforementioned project by the Cabinet will result in certain sections of road, approach roads, and other property owned and maintained by the Cabinet no longer being needed by the Cabinet for the Commonwealth of Kentucky's primary road system. And whereas the Cabinet seeks to eliminate from the Commonwealth of Kentucky's primary road system certain road facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto this resolution. And whereas the Cabinet has offered to transfer all of the Commonwealth of Kentucky's interest and ownership in those certain road facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A attached hereto this resolution to the Madison County Fiscal Court, hereinafter Fiscal Court. And whereas the transfer of these certain road facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A will occur upon the Cabinet issuing formal acceptance for the project, and whereas upon the Fiscal Court's adoption and approval of this resolution, the Cabinet will furnish an official order detailing the transfer of all the Commonwealth's interest and ownership in those certain road facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A to the Fiscal Court. And whereas the official order will request the Secretary of the Finance and Administration Cabinet transfer the Commonwealth of Kentucky's interest in those certain road facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A to the fiscal court by the necessary conveyance document. And whereas the fiscal court will assume all maintenance responsibilities for the certain facilities more specifically defined in Exhibit A, and whereas the fiscal court has reviewed this resolution, the cabinet's plan sheets attached hereto, and Exhibit A, which more specifically defines the certain road facilities that will be transferred to the fiscal court, and recommends approval of same. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorize the judge executive and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Scott. That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
It was.
Do I have a motion and a second for resolution 2022-97?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
I've got a question, Judge. On
Sure.
on the drawings,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know how deep you have that in your packet there, but starting at the back of it and coming back forward, the
Okay.
sixth and seventh one back
Sixth or seventh one back.
shows just a little spur, and here's what I'm looking at. Just so
Can you see the sheet number on the top right?
I don't know.
It says like R25A. The very top right, it's a little box. It says sheet
Yeah, I'm
number.
sure I can see it. It's R23A.
Okay.
So I'm just curious, what is that little spur? Because as far as the rest of the document goes, down in the very bottom, it shows a pretty good drawing. The very last one, what is that and why would we want it?
So that is just a picture of, let me see if I can, if you go to the next page,
Yeah.
So this is the extension, this is the start of the new section where it attached to the old section.
All right, so that's nothing more than just the start of that.
Right, and now I guess that's just what fit on this sheet.
I get you. Thank you.
So if you went to the end of the newest section they put in on Simpson Lane and attached it to the old section,
Right.
where the old little service lane came down, there's a guardrail at the end of that now, and that would be like right here. Where it says on that, it says, do you see where it says remove? Well, if you go to R23, you see where it says remove existing pavement. So that basically is where the guardrail is now, where the old section just dead ends.
All right.
That's correct. The guardrail is there, and then they removed asphalt from the guardrail to the existing pavement that was there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious, just by that one drawing, it looked like it's just a little hunk of pavement stuck out there. It's like, why wouldn't we
Yeah,
want that?
if you go to this R21, Tom,
Right.
see, this is the whole section.
Yes.
But it couldn't catch that other little
All right.
section at the end, and that's where this dead end is now.
Okay,
Of the
gotcha.
old section.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Scott, how many landowners have property that would be affected by this?
To my knowledge, two. Judge can correct me if I'm
But
wrong.
then it could be divided into some more sections.
Well, there's actually 3 different parcels actually here. 2 of the parcels are owned by the same person. It's the BP and the McDonald's, the old BP and the old McDonald's. And then this triangle piece, that used to be owned by, Wayne Lake. It was part of his farm. It's got kind of divided up.
And it does have an entrance off of Colonel Road. Off of Simpson
Simpson.
Lane. Has its own entrance, so they would not have to actually use that road that goes down into McDonald's to access that triangle piece.
And they can do that. I mean, we're taking in what I'm just calling, we've got to name the little spur section. We don't have that named yet.
Right.
But I'm just calling it the spur right now. But we'll have to name that at some point. So we're taking the spur in and then that newest section of Simpson Lane. Because the old section we already owned. I mean, it's already Madison County property. Any other questions?
Is there a, on the final document, their picture that you're looking at, is there a tie into 627?
There is, if you look at one of the first pages,
Yeah.
like go to R7. It doesn't start, our section doesn't start until you get off the state right away.
All right.
And you can see where it comes off that pin and goes kind of at an angle.
I see.
And it says transfer maintenance responsibility in Madison County Fiscal Court, and it says transfer ownership,
Okay.
the right of way.
That's good.
Yeah, originally they had it all the way out to Boonesboro Road, but we didn't like that. So. Yeah. Good questions, good conversation. Anything else? We do have a motion and a second. Hearing nothing else, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2022-98. This is Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department. This is CDBG grant application. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good. Resolution 22.
I'm sorry.
2020
This is Logan Hart with the Bluegrass ad. So, glad to have you, Logan.
Thanks. Resolution 2022-98, a resolution of the Madison County Fiscal Court authorizing the submission of an application for the Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department Fire Station Community Development Block Grant. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes the important work of the Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department in serving the residents in their community, and whereas the Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department has faced a rapidly increasing number of service calls, and whereas the current fire station located at 668 Kirksville Road, Richmond, Kentucky 40475, faces numerous structural issues that have been deemed unrepairable, and whereas it is the intent of the Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department to purchase property adjacent to their current fire station and to construct a new fire station, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes the importance of this facility in supporting and improving the services the Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department provides to the community, now therefore be it resolved, this 26th day of July 2022, the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county as follows. The Madison County Fiscal Court agrees and resolves to apply for a HUD Community Development Block Grant, funds in the amount of $750,000 for use in a project entitled Kirksville Fire Station, CDBG CP, and further authorizes the Madison County Judge Executive Reagan Taylor to sign all documents necessary to seek the federal financial support that would enable this project to move forward.
Thank you, Logan.
Motion
Yeah.
to approve resolution 2022-98, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, this, just wanted to say that for community, they have been averaging, it looked like I was reading in the documentation associated, that around 140 calls per year, and stating that this year they're on track for 150 calls. And of course, we've all been down to that station, I think, at different times, and it's definitely one that's pretty dilapidated and on its way out. Can't get all the equipment in, can't protect all the assets that they have down there. So this is definitely something that needs to be added and done down there at that community, and we certainly appreciate that.
All right. Any other comments? We do have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Logan. Resolution 2022-99, this is a tax assessment board appointment. A resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County Tax Assessment Board, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County Tax Assessment Board members, and whereas the Madison County Tax Assessment Board has a vacant board member position, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Owen Barnes is fit for the position as board member of the Tax Assessment Board. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Owen Barnes as a Madison County Tax Assessment Board member.
Motion to approve resolution 2022-99, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just think, Owen would be a good fit for this. He's a businessman here in Madison County. He knows the value of property. Does a lot of development, so he knows the price of houses and prices of industrial
Yeah, properties.
also.
Yeah, the Tax Assessment Board, just the court's I guess just a little education moment here. The tax assessment board is set up by 3 members. And the fiscal court gets an appointment, the county judge gets an appointment, and then the city with the largest population gets an appointment. So the city of Richmond actually gets an appointment. These are 3-year terms, and as a tax appeals board member, you can only serve 1 term. You can serve another time, but you just have to at least set out a term. And so we try to get representation from one of either the fiscal court's appointment or my appointment. I always try to get some Berea representation, which Owen is a businessman in Berea, lives kind of in the middle, I guess, of the county, but owns a lot of rental properties, and his business is in Berea. So,
4th district resident.
4th district resident.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good discussion. Anything else? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes. Resolution 2022-100, Emergency Management Agency Communication Tower Sites Bid Award. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Judge.
It's good to have you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Resolution 2022-100, a resolution awarding a bid for the Emergency Management Agency, EMA, Communications Tower Sites Improvement Work. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is required to approve of all bids for projects in accordance with the Administrative Code. And whereas the Madison County EMA requested bids for tower site improvements. And whereas the bid notice was properly posted. And whereas 3 sealed bids were received within the specified time in the bid posting. And whereas the Madison County EMA wishes to award the bid and enter into a contract for communications tower site improvement work to Henderson Services. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Jennifer. Do I have a motion for Resolution 2022-100?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We have any discussion?
So I just have a couple of questions. Jennifer, can you tell us, on the attachment there, it shows the chart that was used and the point system that was used. Who were the members that decided that made that scoring?
So I know Dustin was a part of that, our EM director. Anyone else that was involved, I would have to verify. I'm sure that Dwayne, our communications officer, was involved, but I can get the answer back on who what the committee was for the scoring.
Can you tell us basically, since it's not attached to this, what the scope of work is for that?
Absolutely. So this will be all minor tower site improvements as we work through the 800 megahertz radio system upgrade. So this will include repairs and upgrades to the fencing, to the gravel in the lots. It will also include any minor electrical work, membranes for the roofs to make sure that all of the equipment inside the shelters is safe and able to operate. It will also include paving some of the drives leading to the tower sites.
Will there be tower upgrades as well?
There will be tower site upgrades, not to the physical structure.
Is this a once-a-year project? They upgrade it once a year? Jennifer, how often is this?
So this is part of the major 800 megahertz upgrade throughout the county. We maintain the tower sites throughout the year to make sure that they're operating to the best of their ability. But just like everything else, every so often it needs a little more work than general maintenance, and this is that time.
I don't remember the exact number. How many towers do we have, Judge?
We have 9.
9.
9.
Mhm. Yep.
It's a lot of money. $894,000.
Mhm.
Roughly $100,000.
100, yeah. Makes it $100,000 a tower, yeah. And of course, part of the strategy doing this was getting as close to the
C7.
end of C7.
Right.
That's right.
As possible, so that we have a longer lifespan of our equipment and our infrastructure.
It's good.
So,
We have a top upgrade
Before it's
lose
on
the
our dime.
contribution from them.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Next, Resolution 2022-101. This is the MWM Consulting, Inc. Professional Services Agreement. A resolution to approve a professional services agreement between the Madison County Fiscal Court and MWM Consulting LLC. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to enter into a professional services agreement with MWM Consulting LLC, and whereas the economic development and the creation of jobs is a priority for Madison County, and whereas MWM Consulting LLC will conduct an economic development study for the county to determine the best locations and industries to recruit to Madison County. Whereas MWM Consulting LLC and the county agree to the terms of the attached proposal for an economic development analysis and application for the State Product Development Initiative, also known as PDI, to receive grant funding. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorize the judge executive and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county. Do I have a motion and a second for resolution 2022-101?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2022-101.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
So this is something, Judge, I think that over the course of the past 8 years, we've talked about this off and on at different times, and have all, or most of us, I think, have agreed that we needed an outside look to help us to grow. And, you know, there was times when we had discussions about the combination of the three governments, Bridge City and the county, but for whatever reasons, that just never seem to work out. This is a good thing. It'll help us to grow in the spots where we need to grow, hopefully. That's the goal from the end of this. And so I'm glad to see it.
It's good. Any other comments?
Judge, we're asked quite frequently what we're doing for economic development and what projects are we looking for in the future. I think this company will provide some information and oversight on some areas that we, on our own, won't be able to find. And they've got a bigger scope and can find some things that might even fit to the Army depot out there in the future or something. So this is something that can give us more information and more outlook for the future for economic development, I think, that we didn't have in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity. I really am. And I think this is also, we're hitting, knowing that post-CSEP, and knowing the potential number of jobs that we could be losing at the Bluegrass Army Depot once the D mill's over. I mean, I think, you know, we're hitting this at all different levels. And we are working with the city of Richmond and Berea as well as looking at doing some things on our own. And I think it's important that we are as diverse as we possibly can be in it. So.
Well, Master Robinson and I met with Mayor Fraley this past week, and you know, one of the things that we discussed was you know, some economic development, future growth and opportunities. And you know, the discussion, that one of the things that we had in that discussion was the fact that, and we'll just use a Toyota for an example, what difference does it make where a Toyota lands the building at?
Right.
You know, that's still houses and grocery stores and car lots and other things that are associated, that grows our economy. The fact that it's in the county or in the city or in Richmond really, to me, doesn't make any difference.
Well, and the other
It's bringing that
manufacturers.
those type jobs in, that's right, plus the satellites that go along with them,
Mhm.
so.
Yep.
And Judge, I also noticed there that it says the State Product Development Initiative to receive grant funding, so there is some grant funding for this project also.
Well, there could be. I mean, this gives us the opportunity to have, it allows us the opportunity to apply for potential grant funding through the state. The legislature appropriated a couple different pots of money for economic development opportunities and initiatives, and so this will give us that opportunity. I think one pot, well, I think there's two pots. Each one of them have $100 million in funding that you could apply for. So,
But it gives us the opportunity to work with a firm who is familiar with where that money's at and how to get it.
Yes.
So that's a big advantage.
Absolutely.
So, you know, question that I have is that, you know, when I put my, you know, planning and zoning hat on when I was, you know, in Berea, right? And, you know, we developed, you know, comprehensive plans, kind of stuff, and I'm curious, would this be looked at a redundancy in economic development when we look at comprehensive plans and what's done in that as far as, you know, economic development? Does that make sense? I mean, I would assume that when we, you know, do a comprehensive plan, that there's an economic development piece in it, as well as transportation and recreation and whatever is. My question is this a redundancy to that? Or is this, you know, also gonna be stuff that can be put into the comprehensive plan on, you know, what they glean out from this, that may be a deeper dive that the comprehensive plan does not have?
Yeah, I think this is I think, yes, I think that hits the nail on the head, the last statement you just made. I think this takes a deeper dive into, really diving into our infrastructure that we have, where it already exists, looking a little bit at the workforce that we have, we could potentially lose, and what types of potential industries do we need to recruit here, that complement those expertises in that workforce. I think it's going to allow us to identify, you know, locations, different parts of the county that we could potentially look at the growth. I think comprehensive plan sort of is a good roadmap, gives a kind of 50,000 foot view that takes in all the things that you mentioned. But I think this is a much deeper dive into us bringing back something to the court to approve at a later date.
The comprehensive plan gives us corridors, so we've identified corridors in the comprehensive plan, but this will be a much more defined scope of where actual things could be.
And I get that, and I hope that, you know, roughly you know, when I look at the numbers, you know, is the cost, you know, I'm hoping that this $25,000 that, you know, we are spending of taxpayer dollars is also, you know, the work that they do and whatever is gleaned out of this can somehow also make its way into the comp plan, okay, with PNC at Cook County. So that would be my only, you know, wish, is that, you know, yes, I get the deeper dive, I get all that kind of stuff, but I hope that whatever comes from this is also implemented into our long-term comprehensive plan, to some degree.
And I think it absolutely would. You know, I think the comprehensive plan identifies that urban corridor, right,
Understand.
where that growth is. But that urban corridor is pretty large when you look at it on a map, how big Madison County is. And so this will be a deeper dive into looking at what parts of our county would be able to complement part of already our vision of the comprehensive plan, and where these different opportunities can take place. Good discussion, good questions. Anything else? Hearing none, call the roll.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. All right, next, personnel on the golf course. Gary,
Come on, Gary.
are you still wet?
Yeah, I'll get wet going back too. I've got two hiring recommendations for the court this morning. The first is Jerry Causey for seasonal grounds maintenance at $10.50 an hour, starting, well, depending on the rain, July 27, 2022.
Motion to hire Jerry Causey, judge, as a seasonal ground maintenance at $10.50 an hour, beginning on 7/27/2022.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Jerry, Gary, has he worked with you before?
No,
Okay.
no, he's a
New hire.
brand new seasonal.
Okay.
And we are going to be losing the two high school students we have soon, since they'll be heading back to school.
All right. Call the roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
And the second is Jake Fritz, seasonal golf shop, part-time. August, start date will be August 11th, 2022. Jake has been with us before. He's actually out at a Chicago golf course right now doing an internship as part of the EKU PGM program. So we want to make sure that he's all set to start as soon as he's back.
Yeah.
And that's at $11 an hour.
Okay.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to hire Jake Fritz, a seasonal golf shop, $11 an hour, starting 8/11/2022.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
quick question, how, you know, we've hired some more folks, I know we got folks leaving, how are you, from a staffing level for seasonal at the golf course now?
Seasonal for outside cart attendants, and for the pro shop, we're all set. Grounds crew, still short, but I have to say the grounds crew we have right now is doing a fantastic job. We should normally, if you go by USGA standards, course hour size and the way it's laid out, should have anywhere between 8 and 12 people on the grounds crew. Right now, let's see, we're 6, if I count it right. And as I said, we're going to be losing the 2 high school seniors in a few weeks. So we'll be at about 5.
Okay.
And as I said, they're doing a fabulous job.
Next question is, you know, this should be your busy season. And so how is, you know, rounds played tracking compared to, you know, let's say last year?
In June, we set a record for income, not only for June, but for one single month. Excuse me, and for July, last July, we set a record for any July we previously had, and we broke that as of Sunday. And we're seeing a lot more younger people coming out and play. And it's fabulous.
Pretty good.
Big increase.
I'll forward you a report he sent me the other day.
Okay.
That way you can kind of see it,
Yeah, let's see.
see the actual numbers. So-
Gary, I want to commend you. You must be doing a fantastic job out there, because out in the public, you know, I hear people say, well, I'm going out to Battlefield to play golf. It's really nice out there this time of year, you know. They've got the course in good shape. So I think you're recruiting more local people, local golfers to come out. And once they experience that course out there and how nice it is, it's comparable to any course in the county. I mean, it's,
Yes, it is, and it just started to snowball. The more people we come out, the more they talk about it. And as I said, the grounds crew, for being as short as they have kept the course in perfect shape, and this rain can only help us.
And,
Though it will make them have to cut the grass more,
Yeah,
but
but it looks
that's
better.
all right.
and we only have 3 full-time
On the grounds crew.
on grounds crew, so we rely on those other 8
So,
to 12, you know, we're seasonal, and it's just hard to find them.
And people would be surprised, even when we bring people in, the majority of them, yes, they may have experience on lawn care, but it isn't the same as how you have to do it at a golf course. So there's always a few weeks training involved to get them close to where they can do what we need.
Well, I just want to echo what everybody else has said, Gary. We commend you in your expertise for the golf course, because we all remember it was just a few short years ago when the golf course was a green hole we was pouring money into. So we certainly appreciate everything you've done out there. That's a big relief off.
Well, thank you. It's
Big
been
burden
a
off.
team effort out there.
Yep.
We do have a good team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Gary. And we already voted on that last one, correct?
Yep.
Ken? Yep. All right, next, personnel, fire department. Chief.
Good morning.
Hi, buddy.
How are you all? Today, I'd like to promote Herb Lovett to training officer. We did an interview committee consisted of Scott Shepherd, Sam Kirby, Richmond Fire Chief, Morgan Ellison, and Jill Williams, and he was the candidate we proposed to bring to court to hire today for a salary of $58,000, start date on 8/3/2022.
All right, y'all have heard the recommendation from our chief. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move we accept chief's recommendation and hire Herb Lovett, $58,000 a year, starting 8/3/2022.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What had you been doing for training officer, chief?
Every line officer is an instructor, so we've been trying to train with me and each shift working, trying to get everybody trained. And everybody's getting trained, but it's not the same level of training. You don't have one person staying with that group all the way through and making sure everybody's the same level when they get ready to go on shift.
Yeah, I like
And
the
it's-
idea of training officers. That's a.
And in slack time, he'll be helping try to do SOPs, SOGs, helping me do the other daily things to help keep improving the fire department that
Yeah,
we've been working on for 4 years, so.
good.
And hopefully I'll be back next court asking to hire some new people to get him started here right quick with. And Herb's with us today, for those of you all that don't know Herb.
Good,
He's actually a battalion chief with us right now.
good.
So he'll be available to go out on call anytime you need him, if he's on the staff.
And on that also, you know, we have 5 volunteer departments that run alongside us. And that's the reason we created this job as a salary position, because there may be some nights he'll be training those volunteer departments also, to bring everybody across the board on the same level. And I've already talked to Chief Kirby and Chief Sandlin, and we're gonna try to get their 2 training officers along with ours, and that way we're all 3 pay departments are working on the same level.
Good.
And our training too goes beyond just firefighting now. You know,
Yes.
because we're doing rope rescue, we're doing water rescue.
Trench,
Mhm.
ice, everything
Yeah.
is.
And this position also is a, I don't know exact times, but it's an 8-hour day or 7.5-hour day. It's not a 24
Yeah,
day.
he may be working today from 8 till 10:30 tonight, then tomorrow he may be 8 to 2, just depending on how we're doing training with the volunteer departments or however. But most of the time, he'll be like me from 8 to 4, 8 to 4:30,
Yep.
so.
Good.
And this was just for the court's knowledge, this was something that was in our budget for this fiscal year. And, you know, I think it even goes beyond that a little bit, talking about our urban corridor, talking about, you know, our growth in the county. You know, we're gonna have to make sure that we can provide these services that I think our citizens deserve and expect, so.
Well, I think it also brings, you know, a level of consistency and training across everywhere, to where, you know, Maria's doing something different than you're doing or whatever, or the volunteers have done different training and whatever. To me, you know, all the departments now, from a training perspective, you know, should be singing from the same training hymn book.
Right.
So I think it's a good way to go.
And we do all have a certain standard where everybody has to meet training wise, the state sets for us.
Right.
But how that training's delivered in the department or through the fire commission or whoever is a difference and change if everybody has a different teaching style.
Right.
All right. That's good. We do have a motion and a second. No more discussion. Call the roll.
Master Biter.
Yes.
Master Robinson.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you all.
Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, next is Judge's Report. I've got a few announcements. I've got several events that are coming up in our community. Richmond Parks and Recreation and the Madison County Public Library will be hosting a movie in the park at Irvin McDowell Park on Friday, July the 29th, so that'll be this Friday. The movie featured is Grease. You remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah. And will begin at dark. You remember that? You don't remember? You don't?
I'm not that old.
Well, I thought you were probably starred in it, didn't you?
May have made a guest appearance.
bring a blanket, lawn chair, and enjoy the movie. So that'll be this Friday, July 29th, and the movie will begin at dark in the Irvin McDowell Park. Madison County Fair and Horse Show will be July 29th through August the 6th at the Madison County Fairgrounds on Old Irvin Road. Please see the Madison County Fair's website for the most up-to-date information, forms, and schedules. The Taste of Richmond event will be Friday, July 29th, so that's also this Friday night from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Richmond Center. Bring your family and friends to enjoy a night filled with food trucks and live music. So that'd be a great night, Friday night. You can go have dinner at the Richmond Center, and then you can go catch a movie at dark at the Irvin McDowell Park. The 2022 Hops and Vines Festival will be Saturday, July 30th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. along South 2nd Street in downtown Richmond. Proceeds will benefit the Madison County Humane Society. CASA's Superhero Gala will be Saturday, August the 6th from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at the EKU Center for the Arts Stage. Contact CASA to purchase required tickets. Berea Tourism is hosting a back-to-school bash on Saturday, August 6th at the Berea Welcome Center in Old Town Artisan Village from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Contact Berea Tourism if you would like to donate school supplies or for more information. Also, the Richmond Teen Center and Richmond Parks and Recreation will also be hosting a back-to-school bash on Thursday, August the 11th at Irvin McDowell Park from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Contact Richmond Parks and Recreation if you would like to donate school supplies and for more information. And then also, last but not least, Madison County government has several job openings. Please, if you know anybody, if you're watching on TV, please visit MadisonCountyKY.us for a list of positions and more details. Comments from magistrates? Tom, I'll start with you.
I don't have a lot today, Judge. Just to let everyone know in the 4th District, we are working on the blacktop, where we're gonna put that in for the fall. I'm meeting with Scott next week, and I've been getting a lot of recommendations from different residents, and we're gonna weigh all those out, and the worst will get it. I do want to just say and add on a second thing is that the exit at Duncannon, where Buc-ee's is at, is just blown up. I mean, it's just crazy, the traffic that comes down through there. And I just caution everybody to be so careful when they're getting off of that exit. You know, I got off this morning there, coming north. There was 5 semis parked on that exit. There's no parking signs from the front of it all the way up to the end of it. And it's just so dangerous. And, you know, I understand that there's parking issues, there's not enough truck stops, but that is one of the absolute worst exits in Madison County now. And my opinion is those trucks need to be moved off of it. It's just a big-time safety hazard. And, you know, there has been accidents there before where folks have almost lost their life, and we don't want anybody to lose their life. Those trucks need to be moved off that exit. We are mowing, so please give our mowers across the county plenty of room as you're doing that, and that's all I have, Judge. And if anybody needs me, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. John?
Judge, I'm gonna keep it kind of short today. Want to also mention about the fair out there. The fair is a big chance for the 4-H'ers to exhibit their projects they've worked on all year. So go out and just show your support for the 4-H boys and girls that worked on projects at the fair. They've got all kinds of exhibits. I think the cattle show is on Tuesday night. I'm not sure what time, what night the horse show's on. They have a truck pull out there also. It's vacation time. A lot of people are going on vacation right now, so be careful out on the roads. There'll be a lot of traffic. This rain is good for the crops and good for the yards, but it also makes the roads slick because we haven't had rain in a while. So slow down and be careful on the roadways. And I just want to mention that the governor is hosting a local issues conference in Louisville August the 17th through the 19th, and I think some of the magistrates are going down for that. That's all I got.
Thanks, John. Ben?
Real quick, I'll be brief. Saturday, I had the opportunity to attend a Walk to Remember at the hospital there in Berea, and what it was a remembrance of those who passed away COVID. And the Berea Chamber of Commerce was involved, which was great, and also the Galaxy Printing, was involved, and so was the hospital, and it was very nice and fitting for those to purchase a brick that has their loved one's name on it, and when they passed away, and they're constructing a walkway with those bricks to the gazebo that they have out front. So I thought it was a great event and went very, very well, and I was proud to be in attendance. Echo what everybody else has been talking about as far as, Tom had kind of alluded to some more road work that's going to be done later this fall. I've had some preliminary conversations with Scott Simpson as well on some potential roads that we may be looking at in the first district as well. So the Allen Company is out now paving lots of stuff, so please be patient. It's for all of our benefits. If you need me, you know how to get a hold of me, whether it's, I've still get letters, believe it or not, and whether it's Facebook IMs or text messages or emails or whatever, they're all welcome, and I'm happy to help anybody there in the first district with a problem, so thank you.
Thanks, Ben, appreciate you. Counselor, you good? Kenny?
Yeah, I just got one comment about court today. It's really encouraging to hear the talk between our government and Berea City government.
Yes.
And our fire departments and their fire departments, because you said it maybe, that economic development in Berea, you said it, Tom, helps Richmond and it helps Madison County.
Absolutely.
We all have to work together because we're all in the same boat here.
Mm-hmm.
We can draw lines all we want to and stand on the other side of it, but it doesn't do anybody any good. So it's encouraging to hear that, and I'm good.
Well, and one more kind of add on to that, Kenny, is that, Tom and I have been having, monthly meetings with Mayor Fraley, and, they've always been great. We're telling him what we have going on within our districts that obviously affect the city of Berea, and also the city of Berea is talking with us about what they have going on. And I think that when we look at, the message that I would put out there for people is that, to kind of dovetail on the Tom, is that, Mayor Fraley was talking about the fact, economic development is good for everybody, okay? And I think that we need to get past, who gets credit for it, right? And I think that we also need to work together with, the municipalities of the city of Richmond and the city of Berea and the county, all of us work together, because I think that there may be this perception in Frankfurt that we don't play well in the same sandbox. And I think that we need to try to change that perception with Frankfurt, because I think if we do, then more opportunities potentially could come to benefit our county.
Mayor Fraley always says, a rising tide lifts all boats.
I didn't want to use two boat references, is what I said, so I left that. But you made me forget exactly what I was gonna say.
Well, you didn't.
I'm sorry to jump
You
in.
didn't make me forget.
No,
what
that's all
I was
right.
gonna
I forgot I was gonna hit on something there, but I forgot what it was.
say. Well, and I have to say, Kenny, it means a lot for you to say this, because you are one of the elected officials that was here.
Yeah, I know what it was like before.
You know what it was like.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Those, it's about relationships.
Yeah.
And it's about building those relationships. And I'm grateful that we have two magistrates that take the initiative to go and meet with the mayor. I mean, me and the other two mayors, we have coffee, about once a month. I mean,
And you
we're
don't have to
always-
do that, but you're foolish if you don't, because you're not helping the community if you don't.
Yep.
I know what I thought of, so Tom mentioned the Toyota. I mean, there's a large corporation comes here, and they find out that they have to meet with this government and that government, and work with both of them to get something done. That knocks our score down in their minds.
Absolutely.
We're not dealing with that. We've got to go back and forth and meet with all these people. We got to get rolling here. Those people have to make money. They got to get the plant. If they need a plant, they need whatever. They need to get it built. They need to get it built now.
Well, we've always we've been hung up in the past sometimes when we talk about economic development due to the occupational tax. Well, who's gonna get the tax on it? Well, there's ways around that. You know, we haven't examined it enough, but in the future, if we want Madison County to grow and be recognized, as the judge said up in Frankfurt for these monies, you know, we need to work out ways that we can split that tax. And, you know, that's not a popular discussion among a lot of folks, but that's something that needs to be done when we're attracting, businesses in, because they certainly do just exactly what you said. They look to see how everybody plays together.
That's right.
And that's a big factor in them coming to our county.
But that occupational tax is a big number, it's a big incentive, but that's not the only one.
Yes.
That's right. And
That's not what's overlooked sometimes.
And I think that we as a, you know, as a court, as well as, you know, the different municipalities, I think that, you know, we need to look at it as, you know, that we go in this together. We can creatively figure out, what we're gonna do with, you know, occupational taxes, okay, and revenue. Instead of, you know, Berea does their thing, Richmond does their thing, we're doing our thing. I mean, I think that, you know, we need to, you know, have a heightened level of cooperation between all governments to grow Madison County economically.
Well, we've got so many things that we need to leverage. We've got 2 colleges.
Yes.
You know, we've got an interstate. We've got, how many, 7?
7 exits.
7 exits.
And an airport.
And an airport, exactly. I was getting ready to get to the airport. So, I mean, we've got a lot of things to leverage that we need to leverage to attract business. And that's just it. And better yet, we've got a buggy.
We got buggies. We got beaver nuggets. All right. Well, good conversation. You know, that's the encouraging part is those conversations are being had.
They're happy.
You know, they're happy.
Monthly.
Mhm.
They're happy monthly.
So, good. Sheriff, don't leave you out.
Yes, I'd like to say one thing to the court, you know, since we're talking about assisting others and working together. I'd like to bring it to attention to the court that every year we have a sheriff's association that has a boys and girls camp. It's in western Kentucky, like Tripper Island is for the state police. But I'd like to thank, our county, court clerk, Kenny Barger, once again, year after year, he comes forward and allows us to use his van to transport the girls one week, and then comes back, and then we take the boys one week. And every car we have mainly has a screen, and you can't put all their equipment and all their stuff they're taking and the kids in that car and let them ride for several hours. But Kenny always comes forward and works with us and allows us to use that van, so I just want to bring that to the attention of the court.
Sure, glad to do it.
Good enough.
Glad to do it. What minivans are for, I believe, is all it is.
Yeah, that's what they are. Comments from department heads? Anybody need to address the court today? All right, comments from the audience? You good, Blake? Good, all right. I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bachman?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Our next fiscal court meeting will be August the 9th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. It'll be right back here in our Madison County Fiscal Courtroom in Richmond. Again, that's August the 9th, 2022 at 9:30 back here in Richmond. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bachman?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks everybody for being here.